Okay, we've got the solicitations for DC in February, mostly future state stuff, but a good handful of other DC things, Black Label and otherwise, coming out as well. This is the final month of future state before we get to the new DC in March. So let's take a look at everything there, see what interests you, read through it together, and see what we're in for. Hey, we are looking at DC in February, and there's a lot of comics here for both Future State and DC in general. So let's get into it. This will be a fun little journey together. See if this one wears me out like in past. So first off, we'll start with the Batman family of books. A lot going on there. Batman is expected to be kind of the big series that DC is going to want to push and promote in 2021. So how's all that going to go? Let's take a look here. We got the next Batman. This is the Luke Fox or somebody from the Fox family. Some shenanigans are expected there. Still as Batman, he is fighting the magistrate. Basically, captured a pair of murderous fugitives, leave them for the troops, which means death, or fight his way to help. We've got an Outsiders chapter here with Katana. Black Lightning has turned into pure lightning. And we've also got a little brief mention of Duke Thomas, so he'll be showing up. And Arkham Knights, Astrid continues her little adventure, and we're going to get a view of some of Gotham's villains, Krog, Zaz, and so on. In the second issue, and then the second issue of the month, fourth issue of Future State, the next Batman, and I believe the final issue for the next Batman, the Batman written by John Ridley. We've got kind of head-to-head with the magistrate, a big kind of attack between the two of them. The magistrate is showing up in current continuity in 2021, so we'll get that. We have Batgirls with Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain teaming up to do things, and then finally Gotham City Sirens, Catwoman, and a new android shows up in a newly built paradise from Poison Ivy. If you remember, she was that was destroyed in part of Joker War. But in terms of creatives, we have John Ridley, we have Vita Ayala, who's writing the Batgirls bit, Paula Steven Bergen doing the Gotham City Sirens. We have Paul Jenkins, Brandon Thomas showing up for some of these other stories. These continue to be the higher price, $7.99. You pay for the Batman. Over in Superman, or Batman Superman, we've got a look at what looks like Professor Pig, and it is. He's turned into a giant hulking pig. So we get some of that. And it is, what's interesting here is this looks like old Batman or not current Batman. So it's unclear. At least there's some indication we'd have new Batman in this title, but it looks like something different is going on here. But it is in the Magistrate's Kryptonite Caverns. Definitely Superman, or so the Magistrate is the big giant bad in the Batman books, and so it really feels like we're going to get a lot of that going on. Over in Future State, Catwoman by Ram V. We've got the very hard to say Omnipotopia, who is the Kevin Smith creation, and we're doing something where she may be reunited with Bruce Wayne, but maybe not. Talia al Ghul is going to be showing up here. In Dark Detective, this is a book that is promising to be, Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne, in this case, is going to meet the next Batman. So this kind of all seems to boil from this idea that Batman has become more of a street-level hero in current continuity, and this is the new, maybe tech-forward, Lucius Fox-funded Batman, and the two of them are going to have a fight. So that's always good. And we get a Grifters chapter as well, written by Matt Rosenberg of Marvel, mostly known for Marvel stuff, and of course some indie work. And then we get the next issue of Dark Detective, which is even more fights by the look of things between Bruce Wayne and maybe they're teaming up. Peacekeeper 1 is involved here. And we get a chapter by Joshua Williamson for the Red Hood, which is Jason Todd up against the Red Hood gang and the Magistrate. So if you like the Magistrate, it's Batman is all about the Magistrate. Mariko Tamaki doing that issue. both issues of Dark Detective. She's going to be writing the dark and gritty Batman. Over in Harley Quinn, it's Black Mask. It's a little bit late to be tying into that movie, but that's fine. Stephanie Phillips is got Harley Quinn teaming up with the Scarecrow and fighting the Magistrate, and Black Mask is involved as well. Over in Nightwing, we get Andrew Constant, Nicholas Scott, which should be a nice looking book, putting out Nightwing and the mysterious new Batman joining forces against the Magistrate. That is correct. And in Robin Eternal, we're getting by Megan Fitzmartin kind of the last stand of Tim Drake. So Tim Drake is dead at the hands of the Magistrate, and he has got the Lazarus potion. So spoiler and other things showing up here for some good stuff there. So that's our Batman books. It's basically various members of the Batman family fighting the Magistrate. That's what you have to look forward to with Batman. Let's hope that villain works out. Over in Superman, we've got a new #1 comic called House of L, and this is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson. And this basically promises to be centuries in the future. We get the new generation of, the L legacy. We get some Blue Lanterns in here, descendants of Jonathan Kent. So it's a look into the far future of whatever Superman is going to be. This is a one-shot. And then we get the Immortal Wonder Woman #2, no relation to the Hulk. And here we get Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan doing the first story, which is going to have the Undoing. Darkseid is apparently a good guy or a protector in the future, or maybe he's just looking out for his own interests. Who knows? But basically, there's this massive cosmic threat called the Undoing, and only Diana Prince, is able to hold back this chaos. And then in a different future, Nubia's stopping some artifact theft, some good old treasure hunting theft by L.L. McKinney. So Nubia going up against Cersei, definitely a lot more with Nubia that we're going to have in the future. And then we've got the Kara Zor-El Superwoman title. And this is by Margaret Bennett, and this is the moon colony that is her fortress of solitude is under siege from, let's call them fish aliens, and but Kara's got to fend them off. We have the Legion of Superheroes, which is Bendis's, I believe, his only book in this future state bit, which is ominous. It means he's carefully writing all the stuff for the new March. Anyway, the Legionnaires have betrayed the galaxy. United Planets is in ruins. Teams scattered across the cosmos. What has happened to the Legion and what's going on there? We get the Superman of Metropolis, which is the Jonathan Kent Superman. And then we also get a backup story with Guardian and Mr. Miracle, Sean Lewis, and Brandon Easton doing these comics. They're fighting Brainiac, little Brainiac cells. And then inside Kandor, the Guardian is doing some things, and Mr. Miracle finds himself on Warworld. So that's what's going on with John Kent. Here is a very crazy cover. This is just destined to be one of those super dick covers where we've got Superman versus Imperious Lex. Lex has his own planet, and it's called Lexor. And Superman, it's rich in materials, but Lex is being Lex, and he imprisons Lois Lane. I wonder if that's Lois Lane. I don't know, but anyway, I guess Superman stepping on somebody, always a good time. So we'll see how the Superman of the future fights Lex, who's up to no good. And then we get a third issue of Superman Imperious Lex, where the last days of Lexor, his home's on the brink of financial and planetary ruin. Superman must be a champion, but of course Lex is not thrilled with Superman showing up to once again save him. And then in the other kind of Superman is a Gladiator book, Worlds of War. Here we have a Black Racer and a Mr. Miracle backup story. Philip Kennedy Johnson handling the main story. Man of Steel fighting in War World, duking out with Mongols hordes. Black Racer smashes her way to freedom, and this ties in with the Mr. Miracle story where he's trapped on War World, and so we get kind of a continuation of that little plot. So. In Superman Wonder Woman, we get the new Wonder Woman and John Kent Superman, and they are this is the heroes have challenged the gods to a test of bravery for the fate of the earth. So it's Superman Wonder Woman against against the gods. So always a fun story. And then in the main new Wonder Woman title, Jolie Jones doing the art and the cover should again look really nice. This is she's emerged from the Amazon rainforest. The new Wonder Woman must battle her way through hell. Yara Flor it looks like a fun book. What's the alternate cover look like? Yeah, they know what's going to sell this book. I'm just saying. Anyway, her back's against the wall. She's got to liberate her sister. I really do feel, based on at least my videos and just what I've seen other places, this is the book people are excited about in terms of the new characters. They're anxious to see this version of Wonder Woman, and it looks like it's going to have some pickup and lots of thighs. So that's always helps. Over in the last bit of the Future State books, what we're calling the Justice League, or AKA the Everything Else, we get Aquaman, which is featuring a lot of Andy Curry, the daughter of Arthur and Mara. Brandon Thomas, who's writing a lot of books this month, is basically continuing this part of the story, looking at the she and Jackson also teaming up. In The Flash, we continue our peeing on Wally West storyline, where vampire Wally West appears to be just continuing to try and murder everybody off. Brandon Vetti, all hope is lost as Barry Allen races to save his former partner Wally West, armed with the weapons of the rogues who once tried to destroy the Flash. Barry plots an attack that will either free the former Kid Flash from evil that's possessed him or end his threat forever. So here's Wally. It's just never going to happen for you. Over in Green Lantern, we do have what looks like a Hal Jordan and John Stewart in Teen Lantern. So outnumbered, outwitted, John Stewart leads the last of the Green Lanterns against unsurmountable odds. The Kund cult dedicated to the God in Red. And then in Young Justice, Teen Lantern teams up with Mogo. Hal Jordan reconnects with Oliver Queen. So there is a Hal Jordan story. What's interesting here is this is a John Stewart story, I believe, as the core story. And then the backup story is Hal Jordan, but our cover gives us Hal Jordan. So a little bit of I would say bait and switch exactly. We don't know how long these different stories are, if it's like a third, but it is 48 pages, and it looks like it's mainly going to be the last Lantern story with John Stewart, then a Teen Lantern backup, and then a Hal Jordan backup. Given it says Hal Jordan reconnects with Oliver Queen after the power battery goes down, that doesn't sound like a big story, but who knows? Maybe they're having beer, fighting. Nobody knows. Over in Justice League, we got things shooting out of people, apparently. So, and we get a Justice League Dark story as well. So Joshua Williamson, they're exiled to a distant planet. There's an imposter in the mix, but they cannot figure out who it is. This is featuring our new Flash from Earth 11, the Far Sector Green Lantern. We got Aqua Woman here, the daughter. And then, of course, our John Kent, new Batman, and Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman. And in the Justice League Dark, it looks like a more familiar team. At least we got Zatanna, John Constantine, Detective Chimp, Ragman, Madame Xanadu, Etrigan. And so that will be, that's a story that I've heard ties, if you've been reading Justice League Dark, it's going to continue. Over in Future State Shazam, we are getting an appearance by Raven in this. And it looks like she's not looking so good, needs some sun. And she's going to be, shocking secret. But Raven is the big bad here. Over in Suicide Squad, you're going to see a lot more Peacekeeper stuff in Suicide Squad with the announcement of the HBO show and everything that is going on there in the movie. But Peacekeeper attacks. So this is good. They're going to, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. You're doing a show, but you're going to make him the villain. That's fine. And then a Black Adam story as well is in there. We get a Swamp Thing story. Now, Swamp Thing is trying to take over the planet. Humanity strikes back, and so it's the green against the humans. What will happen here between the two? And in Future State Teen Titans, we do get Red X returns to the Titans. That was a character that's got a lot of excitement coming into this. And the mysterious former Teen Titans Academy student joins the surviving Titans in a final fight to stop the threat unleashed by one of the school students. Nightwing, Raven, Crush, Shazam, Starfire, Psybeast, Red Arrow fights their demons. One of them is going to die, and there's at least some thought that Damian is Red X here, or at least is involved in these shenanigans. So, if you're not interested in Future State, good news for you. There is some DC Comics, a little bit more actually than the previous week. Unfortunately for you, maybe these are a little bit more I mean, maybe gimmicky based. So we've got DC Love is a Battlefield. It is February, so we need a little Valentine's issue. Harley Quinn. What better thing to do romance than Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn? But we also will do some Batman, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda. Maybe Superman's not trying to sleep with her this time, and some romance, and even Amanda Waller on a date. So okay. And then the second issue, did the video yesterday talking about Generations Forged. This is the second part of this Lost Through Time issue. Superboy has been added to this team. If you tuned in yesterday, you learned that the villain is Dominus, who is going to send them through time. And so we have that happening. Some sense that some of the events coming out of this series will spill over then into March somehow. Maybe this is a new time team that's going to team up every now and then. Who knows? Man-Bat #1, which is a series that was solicited a long time ago and then kind of vanished off the charts, is finally coming back. It's a 5-issue limited series. Kirk Langstrom, Man-Bat, with all the cuts that DC's doing, bringing Man-Bat out is an interesting choice. But I guess a lot of those pages were largely done. And then we get a new digital first team-up book. This is Truth and Justice #1. This is Vixen, and she's going to be teaming up with different people. In this issue, we've got Dr. Mist and Impala of the Global Guardians. And so we're finally getting some Vixen love. I'm told repeatedly that 2021, we're going to get a lot more Vixen in the DC universe. It's a character they really want to focus on and put some attention toward. And then we get a lot of hardcore. So here's the Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 3 hardcover by Grant Morrison. It's been very, very long awaited again. We get a trade paperback for Dear DC Supervillains. This is a little bit of a jokesy, the villains of the DC universe, and having some comedy and telling some stories and all the rest. Is this Poison Ivy in like a hoodie? Is that what's going on here? You got Groot, and I don't know, why is Katana there? I don't know what's going on. There's some. All right, who knows? Anyway, Metropolis Grove is here. This is another kind of YA or maybe younger. It's every kid knows he's not real. So this is Superman real, and what can we believe in? Bizarro's involved. Whistle is a new Gotham hero. This is another kind of YA type book. 16-year-old Willow Zimmerman has something to say. She advocates on the streets for her community, works nights at a dog shelter. Her mother has brain cancer. But how will all this involve Killer Croc and the Riddler? So, does she remain loyal to the man who saved her mother's life, or use her new powers to be a voice for her community? It's always a tough choice. Zatanna, The Jewel of Gravesend, is another kind of YA book. This is a graphic novel, walks her giant rabbit. Zatanna is not your typical New Yorker. She has a giant rabbit. She walks, and she had her first kiss in the haunted Hell Gate ride. And she wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not sure these books are landing. The Mr. Freeze book was a dud from a sales perspective. I know some people liked it, some people didn't, but they're going all in with these books. Here we have American Vampire #5, Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque. The only Scott Snyder thing I believe you're seeing in February. Then we have Batman Black and White #3. This has got a large collection of Evely, Dragotta, Seeley, John Ridley, Bingal. You are getting more of John Ridley and Oliver Capil teaming up to continue the story of the next Robin and the next Batman. And he's introducing, it's a woman, and she's not exactly Robin. So we got that. We got Batman with Sword and Sorcery, and we've got a bunch of different things. Nick Dragotta, I don't know if he's drawing. It says he's writing, but we don't know. Anyway, interested to see what they have to pull out there. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn #5. So this has been a really solid little series. So nice to see this still going on. Matteo Scalera, Katana Collins, Sean Murphy putting out this book. I believe it's going 6 issues. I may be wrong, actually, now that I think about it. But anyway, we've got some nice stuff in here. Batman Catwoman #3. This is Tom King's long-delayed project with Clay Mann. This is going to be all about the Joker, and the Phantasm is there as well. We have The Dreaming Waking Hours #7. This is a book that G. Willow Wilson is working on. Got a lot of press, and again, is kind of slipping through the cracks a little bit. in terms of what's going on. Far Sector, this character who we are seeing in Future State show up as part of the Justice League. This is racing toward its conclusion. It's a 12-issue series, so this is issue 10. And then this is the second to last issue of Green Lantern by Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp. So that is also still continuing. This is issue number 11. Get a very 80s looking Hal Jordan there. Got some permed hair. Look by the look of things. Rorschach number 5, Tom King's other book in February, where we're continuing the mystery of who's trying to kill the leading contender to unseat President Redford, and where does all this go? Why is it Steve Ditko? Scooby-Doo, Sweet Tooth: The Return by Jeff Lemire, and then we get a couple collections. We get the Death Metal hardcover. Here we get the Batgirl Joker War hardcover. We get the Batman Detective Comics hardcover. Lots of hardcovers. Nightwing hardcover. Absolute Wonder Woman, Gods and Mortals. This would be an amazingly good thing to grab, I think. $125, it's a lot, but 376 pages. George Perez, Greg Potter. I mean, this would be a great Wonder Woman to pick up. Steep price, but would be very nice. This is the Brian Edward Hill Demon's Fire storyline from Batman the Outsiders. We've got an Arkham Talia al Ghul trade paperback, which is collecting a handful of things by a number of different creators throughout Talia's run. Usually they do this when they're getting ready to promote or do something with this character, so maybe that's happening. The Eradication Agenda trade paperback. We have a Death in the Family hardcover. We have Batman's Grave collected all in one place. The last time Warren Ellis will work with DC for a while. We have Batman Superman collection, Birds of Prey it's a Black Canary trade paperback. It's not really, the Birds of Prey aspect is really just, I don't know, that's to tie it to the fact that she's in this movie. But it's a lot of her classic work. Deceased trade paperback. This original, The Final Night storyline, which will tie in at least a little bit to the Endless Winter bit. It doesn't, right? It's thematically the same. Similar writers. Ron Mars is on this. Here is the Flashpoint Omnibus. That'd be quite a tough omnibus for me to get through. I'm just saying. The Tower of Babel that is coming out. That was a good storyline. We got the John Constantine Rise and Fall hardcover. We have more John Constantine. We have Justice League Odyssey being collected. We have the Red Hood Outlaw collection. Revolver trade paperback by Matt Knitt. We have The Sheriff of Babylon trade paperback by Tom King, Mitch Gerards. This is from a ways back, but we're getting that into print. We get Superman Adventures, and we get The Truth Revealed, the Bendis storyline where he revealed his identity. So you get a lot of words for this one. You get a lot of words for your money. Superman versus Shazam fights, so a bunch of different stories there. The Who's Who Omnibus, which is an interesting omnibus of $150 and through the 80s, if you remember this, lots of 1,320 pages of data sheets of characters. So it'd be a pretty nice time capsule of an omnibus, and that's it. So what better place to end on a Who's Who omnibus? So that's what we got coming from DC in February. It is the final month of Future State before we get into what is expected to be the really big announcements. And that will come about the second week of December, although we'll get a couple books leaked early the week after Thanksgiving. So stay tuned for that. That's what you have to look forward to in DC in February. Let me know what you're interested in, what you'll be picking up, what you're going to buy. And most importantly, though, like, subscribe, of course. Please subscribe. And thanks for listening.